Hello, it's so good to have you here on my channel. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how I created this flyer. This is a conference flyer, and so we'll be creating it together. So let's dive right in. So I have my blank page open. This is an A4 size for flyer. So the first thing we'll do here is to give this a background color. I'll be using this color called EFE 8E2. The next thing we will do here is to go get a frame. We need a paper frame for this. So let's scroll until we find the frame that we need. Let's get this frame and then rotate it to -90. Let's stretch this out. Maybe stretch downward. Let's go back to element to get a conference. So I use the prompt male and female public speakers or speakerless. Let's use speaker. Then go to photo to search for the image we need. This is the image here. It is called public speaker giving talk as an event. Okay, let me use this other one because I will need to, let's place it here. Then go to rotate. Then rotate to angle 90. Let's just type in 90 here. And then drag it in. Click on done when you're satisfied with what you have. So this is a photo. So what we can do for this image is to do a little adjustment to a couple of items. You can work on the temperature, adjust. You just play around with all of this setting in the adjustment and find a, let's see this, just adjust to your test, and when you're done, you close it. Now we can get our other element, which is also paper texture. Let me go to recent because I recently used it, so let's, here it is. Isolated torn paper, that's the keyword, or that's the name. So let's select it. Before we do this, before we move this item behind this, let's lock this so that we don't have to struggle with having to replace the image there. So just lock it. Now we can go ahead and push this image backward and then move it up. Okay, I noticed that this frame is actually different from the frame I used in the main design. So let me find the exact frame here. This is the frame. I'll just position it 90. Now let me just delete. Okay, you can unlock it and delete. This is the frame here. This is the exact frame that I used. And let me get my image. Go to just the same thing we did earlier. I need to flip this Good. Now we can go back and adjust like we did with the other image. Give this a filter effect. Let's see how this looks. Maybe this, maybe this. Okay, let's stay with this. Then enter our text. Exceptional. So you can see that I deliberately omitted the X because we'll be using from Canva, we'll be using this S here so that we can give it a different color and size. Let me change this to all caps. And let's change the font size. The font type. We'll be using this font. Let me see if I still have it. Yeah, Anantason expanded. Reduce the font size. I just want to work with this here so that before placing it on an image. Let's zoom in. And place it somewhere here. We'll need to reduce this a little more. Or maybe move this. Okay, let's just move it. Good. This is much better. You can group. Okay, but before we group, we need to this should be light. We should change this to lighter form of anantasan. Good. And then we should also change the color to white. Then we need to change the color of this X. So you can see that I don't have access to this S, so I'll need to go to position to access the S. And then here I can now change the color. Let's use this color. Now we can group, bring it up. Place it somewhere here. Okay, let's enter the next text, which is the next word, leadership. I need to reduce the line spacing. Okay, we entered the wrong sign here. Change this to uppercase. Also need to reduce the letter spacing. Okay, then let's change the alignment to left and then go to font to change the font to this one. We need to, okay, yeah, this is good, this is okay. Let's reduce the size a little. All right, this is okay for now. If we need any further adjustment, let's take this up a little. Good. And let's enter the other speakers we have for this conference. So before we proceed with adding other speakers, I just want to show you some adjustments that I did off camera. So I had to reduce the temperature to -33, the thing to -77, contrast to -77, highlight to -100, vibrance to -30, sharpness to -100. So those are the adjustments I made so that it can look exactly like the image we are recreating. I mean, the design we are recreating. I also changed the filter to something soft, hazel. So this is the filter that I changed it to. All right, with that said, let's proceed to bringing in other speakers. So the first speaker will be bringing in, but before we bring in our speakers, we need to get this frame here. Yeah, I think that's the frame. Then we'll rotate it to 180. Let's go to position to manually enter 180. Resize this. I'll show you what the frame is called. Simple real estate frame. Let's bring in our image, remove background, place the image over the frame. So let's go to crop so we can rotate to 180. Properly place our image. Done. And we need a background so that our image can have a background. I usually like to use R on my keyboard to get my rectangle, my square shape. So you can use R if you're using your computer. If you're on a mobile, you can simply go to, I've not tried this in a mobile, I've not tried this shortcut in a mobile. I don't know if that will work as well. So you feel free to try it, of course, and let's see if it works for you. So we'll give this a black color. And then push it behind. Make sure it is aligned properly with our image. So once we're satisfied with what we have, we can just group, position it, duplicate, and then replace with the other speakers. So we need 4 speakers for this event. So we'll just duplicate into 4 places and then replace the images. All right, so other speakers added. I actually had to flip this image so that it can face the other side, and then I changed the saturation. I reduced the saturation. You can reduce the saturation of an image from the adjustment. You just go to adjustment and see that the saturation is -100. So just reduce the saturation to -100, and then I added names. The font for the names is the same font we use here, and Artisan expanded, and the font size is 12. So just quickly add the remaining items we have for this design. So I'll just add a line. Let's reduce this width to 1. Let's rotate this, go to position and enter 90. Then bring it here. So I'll just copy and paste the other test items we have for this design. So that will speed up the process. This is just a simple, this one is just a test bus Let me show you. But if you're a beginner, how you can do this is just to enter your text. Get your square shape and then type in your text timing, and then make this uppercase. Go to letter spacing, space it out a little, and then reduce the size of the square, and that's it. You can also change the fonts of this, but it's already in the font that we needed it and the right size. So that's how to create this. And then this one is also an enticing 12. The font size is 12, and then we italize it. And the font size is 26.9. This is just the same thing we have here. And then we added our venue address. So this is just something simple. That's why I had to copy and paste. Let's proceed with the last few elements we need for this design. Let's get a square shape. Reduce the size. Let's increase the length. Duplicate this size. Change the color to this color, which is 3D2301. This is also the same color we used for our test. Remember, I actually copied it from the design we are recreating, so just use the color. It's also the same color here for the name. All right. So now let's enter our text. Call us on blocks 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's change the fonts to the fonts that we've been using for this project, which is, so we only have 2 fonts for this project actually. Anantasen and Anantasen expanded. I struggle to pronounce the name of this font. Excuse me. So let's make this light. Then we can make the number bold. Let's reduce the font size. The font size should be 12. And let's change the color of this text to white. And position it to the center of this. Let's copy this text here. Live on Zoom and YouTube. Let's align this to the center of this. Go to align elements, center, go back, align elements, middle. So with that, we're sure that this is aligned to the middle and to the center. Let's do the same for this one as well. So go get this icon. The icon is live streaming icon. So reduce the size and bring it down here. Let's zoom in. Reduce this and place it here. Let's zoom out. So we need to duplicate these 2 shapes. Reduce the size and bring them here. Now let's get so this is what this shape looks like now. Let's get this scan me. Just search for scan me and you'll find it. Wait, this is so that people can scan it and join the event or register for the event depending on how it is programmed. So this is a QR code icon. So besides it, we need to ensure that this is positioned to be inside in the same to be the same height with that shape we have here. So we need to ensure that the size is the same. I mean the height rather. Good. Then let's reduce this to fit into this shape here. So each time you struggle to fit any element, all you need to do is just to zoom in, and so you can have enough, you can see what you're doing clearly. So this is what we have now. We gave it a color of the same color we've been using, this color. So let's zoom out. And now we can enter the last test for this project, which is our website and our email. So just enter the website for this conference and then the email, that's it. And we are done with this design. Now we need a logo. I'll be using my own logo for this. But of course, you should know that if this were a real event, we should use the conference logo. So I need to lock this so that I can place the logo right above it. So assuming I didn't lock it, this logo would have replaced the image here. So that's why you need to lock elements, especially frames that you want to place images over. So this is what we have. This is what we have created. I can't wait to see you try this out and share with me your design. So this is it for this tutorial. I hope to see you in my next tutorial. Bye.